students, welcome to your geography lesson Inside Our Earth, Chapter 2, Class 7th. Dear students, the Earth is our home, but what is it made up of? If we go deep down inside the Earth, what will we find in its interior? The study of the Earth's surface and its interior is very significant, as our lives are dependent on it in every way. But how do we go about studying this? Basically, we have got some direct and indirect sources to know about the interior of the earth. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and deep mining activities provide information and clues which help us to know about the interior of the earth. Well, the structure of the earth is basically divided into three concentric layers. Number 1, crust. Number 2, mantle. And number 3, core. Each of these layers has its own characteristics. Let us learn more about them. Crust. The crust is the outermost layer of the Earth's surface. The thickness of the crust varies from 5 to 8 km beneath the oceans to an average of 35 km under the continental landmass. The main elements that make up the crust are silicon, denoted by the symbol Si, and alumina, denoted by the symbol Al, and magnesium, denoted by Mg. The main components of the continental landmass are silica and alumina. Thus, it is called the shale layer. The oceanic crust is called sima as it is made up of silica and magnesium. The ocean crust is denser than the continental crust. Moving on to the second layer of the earth, it is the mantle. The layer below the crust is called the mantle layer. The mantle is about 2900 km thick. It consists of the two layers, the upper mantle and the lower mantle. The average temperature of the upper mantle is about 870 degrees Celsius. It is found in a semi-solid or plastic state. The lower mantle has an average temperature of 2200 degrees Celsius and it is in a solid state. Earth's mantle is made up of mineral like olivine, which is a combination of iron, magnesium and silica. Let's move to the innermost layer of the earth, that is the core. The innermost layer of the earth is called the core. Its thickness is about 3500 km. The core is divided into the outer core and the inner core. The outer core has a temperature of around 2200 degrees Celsius. It is composed of iron in a molten liquid state. The inner core has a temperature for about 5000 degrees Celsius. It is composed of nickel and iron, commonly referred as Nif, but is still in a solid state. The reason behind it is that there is extreme pressure and weight exerted by the rocks lying above it. Our earth or the lithosphere is basically composed of rocks and minerals. But before we move on to the next let's recall. Just try it yourself. Now here comes the answer. The topmost layer is the crust, followed by the upper mantle, the lower mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. Okay. Now moving on to the main elements which comprise our lithosphere, that is the rocks and minerals. We'll have the basic introduction to rocks and minerals. If you talk geologically, rocks include all the solid materials of the earth crust, whether it is hard like granite or soft like clay. They are an aggregate of various minerals. Rocks, they do not have a definite chemical composition. Some rocks contain metals in a large quantity, which can be extracted economically. Such rocks are called as ores. For example, hematite is an ore of iron. Like granite and marble are used for construction. The types of rocks found in an area determine the type of landforms, drainage, and soil of that particular region. Moving on to minerals. Minerals are natural inorganic compounds found in the Earth's crust, which contain one or more elements. They have definite chemical composition and physical properties. They may be metallic or non-metallic. Minerals may vary in color, texture, hardness, and luster. Diamond is the hardest mineral. Even the common edible salt is an example of mineral. Now next, move on to the configuration of rocks. On the basis of their formation, rocks are basically classified into three types. For today's class, we will be discussing the first type, that is igneous rock. The other two friends to this rock are your sedimentary and metamorphic. Let's define igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, the term igneous is derived from the Latin word ignis, mean fire. The interior of the earth contains very hot molten material. This is called magma. When this molten material called magma reaches the earth's surface through cracks, it is called as lava. Cooling and solidification of the molten magma, either inside the earth or on the surface, results in the formation of igneous rocks. These rocks are hard and crystalline in nature. Basically, we obtain igneous rocks through the volcanic eruptions. Igneous rocks are also called as primary or basic rocks because all the other rocks, directly or indirectly, they have been formed from them. They altogether make a large percentage of the earth crust. Igneous rocks are found either below the surface of the earth or above it. When the cooling of magma takes place below the surface of the earth, the process occurs very slowly as the interior is hot enough, resulting in the formation of large crystals. Such kind of rocks which are formed within the interior of the earth are called as intrusive or plutonic igneous rocks. Example to these rocks are granite and gabbro. When at times the pressure is intense enough to force the magma to reach on the surface of the earth in the form of lava during a volcanic eruption, the lava gets cooled down on the surface. This process takes place rapidly, resulting in the formation of small crystalline rocks. Such rocks are called as your extrusive igneous rocks or volcanic rocks. Basalt and pumice are some of the common example to your such kind of extrusive igneous rocks. The other two rocks are your sedimentary and metamorphic rock, followed by the rock cycle that will be continuing in the next lesson. Thank you for your patient listening.